Okay, so I already tried this once, and apparently I went over the time limit for direct uploads, and it kind of cut me off, and I gave up. Even then, I took a break, and now I'm back. And it's 1:45, and I have to work at 6, so I need to stop waiting until everybody in my house goes to sleep before I try uploading videos, because this really not working. So yeah, as I mentioned back in June, I'm not good at uploading videos on any kind of updating schedule. I've had like 4 haircuts since that video. And, dyed my hair a couple times. It was blue and now it's kind of just this weird green color. I don't know. I kind of like it. It matches my hat. Your hair is not supposed to match your hat, I realize that, but I like the idea. And my anthropology professor was pretty cool. She liked it. But she's like a hippie person that lives on an island. But she's awesome. Anyways, um, what's going on in my life? School started on Tuesday, which means I am in year 6 of my degree. And I'm not sure when I'm graduating. I want to graduate in spring, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I've changed my minor way too many times. This year I'm an English student. I have a couple anthropology classes and a fuckload of English. And dude, English, hard, terrifying. My reading list is the most daunting thing I have ever encountered in my life. Daunting. Like, I don't use the word daunting, but it is daunting. I've been using the word daunting so much in the past couple days because it is daunting. Daunting, daunting, daunting. Yeah, daunting. Like, what's the book? This book, The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins, is like 650 pages. 650 pages. It's Victorian literature. Never take Victorian literature unless you want to die or unless you really like to read a whole lot of little words on a page. Like, come on. That does not look fun to me. It does not. It is Victorian literature. And it's not even like good Victorian literature. Like, I guess the Victorian ended in like 1870. So the fin de siècle isn't even included in Victorian literature. Fin de siècle had amazing literature. Like, come on. Jack the Ripper was going around killing prostitutes during fin de siècle. And like, the rise in crime, rise in drug use, like, it was the fin de siècle. Sherlock Holmes, H.G. Wells, awesome literature in the fin de siècle. No, I had to take Victorian literature, which is not fun. But to make up for it, I have a fantasy lit class that I slept through yesterday because it didn't go so well. But I get to read The Hobbit, which I've always wanted to read The Hobbit, but I've never convinced myself to read The Hobbit. Never been a Lord of the Rings fan, but it's supposed to be good, so I'm gonna try. Probably not gonna go so well. But I have a graphic narrative class, which means I get to read comic books for school. We're starting with Batman Year One, which is Frank Miller, awesome, and we're moving on to Watchmen, and then we're moving on to a bunch of other stuff that I don't really know. Some stuff that looks lame, and some other stuff that looks lame. Some Tintin, some. I was kind of disappointed in my professor because she combined the horror genre with the manga genre. I don't know. Japanese people can be a little messed up, so I'm a little afraid how horror manga is working. We're reading Ode to Kirihito, so if you've ever read it, give me some pointers on it. Is it stupid? Is it lame? Is it gonna scare the crap out of me? I don't know. Yeah, but I'm also excited because like I'm taking a steampunk lit class, which one of my books for that class is also a fantasy book. So it's what is it called? Perdido. I don't pronounce the words. Street Station. Perdido Street Station. It's by China Mayville or something like that. I don't know. I'm bad at pronunciations. I should not be an English student. Um, but I also get to read a whole bunch of other stuff, which is like awesome. Like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and a bunch of other like old school steampunk stuff, some new school steampunk stuff. Um, what else? Uh, hmm. And some really cool stuff. Oh, I get to read Beowulf next week for my British Lit class. Very excited. I like Beowulf, so that should be fun. What else do I have? I have another class. What is it? I told you about Victorian lit, I told you about graphic narrative, I told you about British lit, steampunk, fantasy lit. Oh no, those are my English classes. And I might have an anthropology class this semester if I can convince a professor to do directed studies with me. It'll be on gender and kinship, which kinship is family, and gender is, well, you know what gender is if you're watching this. I'm not sure how those fit together, but that's how my university does the anthropology class. We're a small university, and I don't know. But I really want to do something involving gender, and it could be cool. And if I can find a professor that'll do it with me, I should have fun. But maybe I won't have time. I don't know. Maybe I'll just work on a different class. There's a total of reason for why I did this video, and I'm blanking. Ooh, British Sled. Okay, so university. Since I'm totally not out of the closet, you know, the only people that call me Thomas are like my friend Kat because she's a total dyke understands the concept of being transgendered. She's cool. If any of you know Twin Fools or have seen Twin Fools videos, Lucas, she kind of knows him through cosplay events, so she knows him, and so she knows the concept of being trans and transitioning, and yeah, so she's cool. I need to stop calling her cool because, well, she's awesome. She's one of my best friends. She's Cat. She's total dyke. I love her. But yeah, she's the only one called me Thomas and that knows I'm out of the closet. Too many of my friends are way too conservative, Christian, annoying types. Like, my transition name is Frankie, because my middle name is Francis, and so I go by Frankie, because it's androgynous, it's, it's in the middle, like, really, I could use Francis, but who names their kid Francis anymore? It's a lame name. Nobody I know that has a name Francis actually gets called Francis. Guys just go get Frank. Girls get called Fran. Nobody names their kid Francis anymore. I'm named after my grandma's aunt. Come on. Francis? Ugh. So Frankie. But most of my friends won't even call me Frankie. They insist on calling me my girly name. Like, I'm... Whatever. So, but my preferred name on my transcripts for school is Frankie. And most of my first day of classes, I was 3 for 3. They all noticed that in brackets behind all my information it said Frankie. But, and it was cool. But my second day of classes, I was 0 for 2. Neither of them noticed. It was really lame. But anyways, today I was sitting in my British Lit class, and my phone buzzed. Like, come on, everybody's phone buzzes. Cell phones are the plague of society, but I love mine. It's so shiny. Well, I like shiny things. I like technology. I have a BlackBerry Torch. Come on. It's not an iPhone, but in my opinion, iPhones are just a fad. People like them. They think they're fun. They play with them. They'll throw them out eventually. They're like a whore. Blackberries, yeah, they get called crackberries. We're addicted to them, but they're for life. We love them, and we don't give them up. If we break our BlackBerry, we get a new BlackBerry. You can't break your iPhone. Are you really going to buy a new iPhone? They're expensive. You don't love them that much. But anyways, my British Lit professor, he's a jackass. I've decided. I don't like him. I got really warm fuzzies because he mistaken me for a guy and thought I was Evan. Evan? I do not look like an Evan. Anyways, I like the name Evan. I have a nephew named Evan. He's cute. But he mistaken me for a guy, which is cool. Like, he kept on referring to me as male pronouns. But dude, I have spent 5 years of university flying under the radar, not being noticed. I have gone through entire semesters. By the end, the professor has not known who I am. He might know my name, but, nothing about me. I've had professors meet me like 2 weeks after the semester and say, I recognize you, but I don't know where from. I'm like, I slept through your class last semester Monday mornings, yeah. But like, dude, like, he caught me with my cell phone, and he didn't just tell me to put it away, that he didn't like approve it. He spent 10 minutes, like, talking to me directly, almost. Like, he's talking about how he doesn't like cell phones and how they disrupt the class. I'm like, dude, just tell me to put it away, and then give the entire class a warning. You don't have to single me out and talk to me for 10 minutes in front of class. Like, okay. The gender confusion thing was awesome. I loved that he messed up my gender and mistaken me for a guy. It was amazing. But, dude, I hated him. Like, okay, my notes for that class, where are they? They're in this notebook. They look like that. I got really pissed off. I almost cried. That's the rest of my clap. That's what you learn in British Lit at a second-rate small university. Not fun. We spent a lot of time talking about royalty. But dude's a jackass. I really don't like him. I cry easily. I don't like to admit that because, you know, I'm supposed to be all macho and guyish. But dude, I cry easily and I did not like him. Anyways, that is my rant. It took me way too long to actually get to the point of my rant, but that is my rant. Yeah, sorry. Goodbye. And my computer is totally being a jerk.